And I just think so many people miss the mark in building a right team because they build a team like themselves.
Welcome to another $4 million strategy podcast. Excited to have with us Angus Nelson. You should check out his website at angusnelson.com. First of all, he's going to talk to us today about having a loyal workforce and minimizing turnover. Angus, what are some things that you recommend to our audience today?
I think the biggest thing that you need to know as a business owner is that your team is a reflection of you. Oftentimes we think that we, hire the best. We've been super intentional, but what happens is psychologically we'll oftentimes hire the people we like. And who do we like? The person most like me. And we create so much chaos within our companies because we get like-minded people who constantly think about the like-minded things. They can no longer be innovative. There's not diversity of thought. There's not diversity of emotion. There's not diversity of perspective. And we start creating a culture that slowly chips away and becomes toxic. And when you're trying to build a team where not only do people have ownership, do they have a voice, but you're also at a place where you want them to stick around. You want them to actually want to stay at your company. And I just think so many people miss the mark in building a right team because they build a team like themselves. And that's kind of where I want to start the conversation.
I think that's fantastic. And so that doesn't feel right, though, initially for an entrepreneur, right? Because they're like, hey, I want to be with these people. How do you give them the confidence that they can still get along with somebody who's different? Help them with that, right? Help them to help get that part where they should be hiring to fill a need, not a buddy.
100%. We don't need more friends in the workplace, though we will become friends. What we create is an environment of honoring differences, honoring perspective. So for instance, if you're familiar with the Enneagram, which is an emotional quotient assessment, you've got Myers-Briggs, you've got the DISC profile, you've got all of these things that help us in productivity and understanding ourselves. But the Enneagram will help you understand what you are on an emotional level and the things that you are more have proclivity to move towards and the things that you want to move away from. And what you start to find out is that the way you see things is not always the way other people see things. And on my teams, I'm a 3-wing 2, so I love to be in the limelight. I like to be the one that's out front. But as I've observed, if I have other people who are the same, then we don't get a whole lot done. We just get a lot of chitty chat in all of our meetings. And I need somebody who's going to hold the line. Somebody's who's going to hold us accountable, say, yo, we got to get some stuff done. So I love to hire 8s. So Victor on my team is my 8. He's an 8-wing 7. He is no BS, cut to the chase. Let's go. He can be funny in his own way. He can be challenging, and sometimes he can piss me off. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Because if I share an idea with him, I don't have to wonder if he's placating, if he's just trying to please me. He's going to give it to me straight. And just one example like that can show you that there are other people on your team you need to give you a holistic perspective for success.
Yeah, and as we've talked about on this podcast many, many times, the $4 million as well as the Measure Success podcast is the more you could get people that are going to tell you the truth and fit in needs that you can't do well, you're gonna flourish under that. When you're hiring the exact same people every single time, you might like them, but eventually a long-term disaster. Angus, thank you so much for being a part of $4 Million Strategy Podcast.
My pleasure, Carl.